Go live. We're live.
Hey guys, glad to have you here. I don't know that this is meant to be fun. It's more me sharing what I have learned, and hopefully you can use it. Those are the themes that I have been sharing. I was telling my wife what she's really my date, my best friend, my future. I was telling her that a lot of times when I'm talking, if I kind of lose myself, I come back to base on the premise that who I'm actually talking to are my boys, which I'm sure they're so busy they don't have time right now at 25 because playing a video game or a computer game is a fun time way to spend your time. Driving your fancy car makes you feel good. So they're not at the point where a lot of the things that I'm saying is things that they're going to use. But I do talk to, so a lot of times I end up not, and this is truly, I don't talk down to them. Never have. The only time I talk down to them is like whenever they want to argue with whether or not I'm in charge, or not really that discussion, where they want to argue, and despite the fact that I'm in charge. So we end up to have, that's when I start saying, hey, but they haven't worked for me in over a year and a half now, either one. I do have one, my oldest boy, who works for me when he's
Hold on. I don't know. There it goes. Okay, never mind.
when he feels like it. He lives with my ex-wife. But when I talk, I was telling my wife, a lot of times I'm talking to my boys. So maybe sometime in the future,
It'll be there.
if they get to this point where they want to know, maybe they'll take some curiosity in what I have to say, and they seem to. And so I'm talking to them. That's if I get lost. I really care about everybody, but I know that not everybody's going to ever be able to see when there's 2 million videos that come out on YouTube every day. So I'm pleased if anybody is here to see what I have to say. I am pleased is a minor word. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. You can disagree with what I have to say, and your experience might be different than mine. I'm not here to pound it into your head. I'm just here to share. And that's really all I've ever done with the videos when I make them. Uh, it's more to share what I have learned. So I don't wish to tell you this is my religion. I'm going to force you to take my viewpoints as fact and this is the way you deal with it. No. So last time we talked about what kind of people do you hire for this type of business? More of a trades. This is a multi-trade business, the repair business. I do, in my case, it's a many multi-trade business, and I have never stopped learning. Never stopped looking forward to other opportunities where I can have more ways to make money. There's guys that I know that all they really want to do, they do more, is pressure wash. That's what I want to do. Where I don't do very much pressure washing. When I say not very much, like once a year, somebody asked me to do that. Uh, Not because they don't, well, a lot of people can do pressure washing themselves. It's whether or not they want to or not. I'm not saying that's not a great thing because it can be. There's a lot of people that are making money just doing pressure washing, but I do a wide variety of things, but it's still in the trades. So, how many people want to do the trades, and we talked about that. Who would you hire? What would I do to get people to work for me? My circumstance is different than everybody else's, but the reality of it is mostly men are going to do this kind of work. It's just the way it is. You can argue and say, point to an exception, but because there's an exception does not mean it's the most of the time. Most of the time, things are going to happen almost predictably. There are certain areas where it's unpredictable, but this is not one of them. So now we're talking about dealing with mostly men. That really isn't going to make much difference if you do happen to have a woman. She's going to have the aptitude to adapt herself to the same kind of qualities that men do about getting the job done. Does that make sense? Because men can also adapt, although not as well, into women, predominantly men or women's positions like school teachers and nurses, and those are all predominant. There are lots of CEOs now that are women. And certain people who are in charge of those companies and put CEOs as women uh, generally is men. So what I'm going to say is what I know, which is in the trades, you will not find very many women. And it's not because, there's such a demand. There's 50 to 60,000, maybe 80,000 electricians needed right now. And they'll take women. They for sure are going to take a minority to fill their slots that they need for a specific amount of minorities. It's just that women don't generally want to work on mechanical things or do all these things. I think there's quite a few women that are painters. It's still a lower percentage, but there's quite a few. I think that's not unusual in my experience. So in this, if you were to have a repair company, you would be dealing with some women. If it was predominantly or a lot of paint, you could have. But here's what we're going to talk about. Who are you going to want to inspire? Who are the ones that you want to inspire? Who are the ones that need to be inspired as employees of your company? First of all, I think you're going to find my overarching theme is almost always requiring something of the owner. It all stops with you. It doesn't go up past you. Everything from those people are asking you to fix the problem. Whether it's sometimes you let things roll until it fixes itself. Sometimes you figure it out because it's an answer that needs, a solution. It is a problem, needs a solution or an answer. You're the one who does that. Sometimes people can help you, but the responsibility lies on you. It doesn't go beyond if you're the owner. It doesn't go beyond you. It's you. So if you're wanting your help to be more than what they are, guess whose responsibility it is? Guess who has to come up with the answers? And that's what we're talking about today. I'm going to give you a short version of what I think, and this is all impromptu. There is no notes. This is not practice. If I had to get up in front of several thousand people, I could. I would probably then make sure that I don't wander as much as I do with you guys. But I want you to understand when I wander, it's because I'm actually being genuine, not practiced, deliberate. I'm acting out of my own feelings about and my own experiences that come freely. Okay, they're not hard for me to come up with. So, who are the people that you want to inspire? I'm going to say every one of them. Who are you going to inspire? It's not going to be the people with bad attitude. It's possible you can change a person with a bad attitude. Possible. But you have a low percentage. If somebody has a bad attitude and that does not want to change, it's time. There's no solution for that. If they refuse to change or respond to your encouragement, even if they might later on be a different person, when you meet them 5 years later, you need to get rid of them. Those people you are not going to be able to inspire if they do not respond with their bad attitude being the problem, telling everybody else their bad attitude, influencing those other people to do the wrong things. In order for you to inspire that bunch of people, you're going to have to get rid of the bad attitudes, the people who literally fight you verbally, literally do not do what you ask. It's wild how somebody who can be extremely talented be the person who ends up being your regular adversary, bad mouthing you about the things you don't know, bad mouthing your atmosphere,
Your choices.
your
for
future.
customers.
They literally will talk to customers about, and you know what your customers will do? They'll tell you, hey, that guy, he doesn't really. You're going to have to pinpoint those people, and you probably already know who they are. Go and talk to them privately, not publicly, not in front of everybody else. Say, look, this is what's going on. These are the things that I'm going to point out to you. We're not going to discuss whether you think they are or not. I'm going to tell you what I think is happening. And since I'm the guy in charge, if you do not respond in the correct manner and get a better attitude, not only when I'm in front of you, but when I'm not around you, I've got to let you go. No matter how you're the most talented guy I've got. If you can't get behind me and support me and encourage the other guys, you've got to go. And guess who's doing that? That's you. You have to go take the courage to step into another room where nobody else can hear, maybe not even call them out in front of everybody, say, look, hey, I need to spend can we talk for a minute? And then you just tell them, don't get your throat all uptight and your voice raised way up. Keep it calm. If you need to, if you feel like it could get something very emotional, sit down. Sit down. Have that person sit down. If they don't want to sit down, there's your first sign that they're not going to be cooperative. They're not going to be influenced by your request. Okay? There is the person that you have to get rid of in order to inspire the rest. You've got to get rid of those people. And that is a hard thing to do. Usually, that arrogance, that pride, that confidence that they can go against you comes from somebody who's very talented. They let it get to their head. They don't know how to play it on a team. So you've got to let that go. You're not going to inspire as well. You're going to be in constant conflict. You're going to be going uphill in your fight if you got somebody that's constantly poisoning all the rest of them. All right. Now that you've identified that person, you've given that person a chance, and they did not respond, you know what to do. Because in order to move forward, you have to get rid of the bad attitudes. All right. Now, what do you want from your employees? You need to know that before you can inspire them. I want you to show up every day. Great idea. How do you get them to do that? What is their motive for showing up every day? And the first thing, if you ask them, is, well, I need the money. No, no, that's not going to be enough, because you can just every time you show up, you can go hide after that and lie about your time. So you need them to do more than just show up. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Why would they want to show up now? Because they want to be a part of the team. They want to be a part of the future. They want to plug in and make their life better. And this is going to be a theme that I'm going to stay with for a long time. So it's your job to make other people's lives better. If you're in any kind of service industry, you are there to make their life better. And so they don't have to do it. So they don't know how to do it, you do. Or you can bring in the labor to get it done. You're not the only person in the world that knows how to do the things you do. It's, I was talking to my wife about how that a lot of times people that are corporate or larger, have multiple rentals and things like that, plug into me, use me for about 3 years, and then they usually at 3 year period, somewhere in there, they cut me loose.
That's why you never, ever, ever allow one customer to control
So
too
that
much percentage of your income.
right. So that's like the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Now, why did I bring that up? Because they are of the opinion they can always get somebody else. Well, that's true. I'm well aware that I'm not doing all the work there is in this county, in any given city. I'm not doing all the work. The county, the state, the United States, the world there's people doing work everywhere that I'm not doing. Okay. You need to understand what you're actually doing with this employee. You're trying to convince them that it's not about just money. Look, I'm paying you, you need to do what I say. That is not inspiration, that's stimulation. And it doesn't last. Okay? That does not last, because they can find money any number of places, less or more, maybe the same. You are going to be competing for a shrinking market of people, not only because the population is shrinking, but because fewer and fewer people have been told that this is the right, that this trade is going to pay, that the trades are going to pay a lot of money. It's like a tanker, an oil tanker. It takes forever to turn that oil tanker. It's going to take a long, long time to change the course of how everybody thinks about the trades. It doesn't matter. It does not matter that they're already making tons of money. It just doesn't. People take a long time to change. It doesn't change overnight. This has been the college. So you're going to have less and less people is what I'm leading to. So these people are rare that would be willing to work for you. And you're going like, oh, well, they're felons in construction.
That's normal.
That's not unusual. Okay. In construction, in commercial construction, in residential construction, in industrial situations. The only place you're not going to see felons is where they got a high security level and you can't have them.
Healthcare,
Yeah.
doctor's offices.
In healthcare, yes, it's true. But you know what? Those felons are working on the building where you can't be a felon and work in the building.
Really?
Yeah, promise you.
You can work felons on a healthcare.
No, they don't check that. Or at least they didn't when I was doing it. I mean, the same thugs and and that I worked with all along would go with me to the hospital. And so what I'm saying is this group of people that are willing to do these things has shrunk, and population is going to make it shrink even more. And it's going to take forever to change the viewpoint. So you can't go, well, I'll just find somebody else like your customers do. It's not going to happen. You have to inspire these people to do more than just show up. How do you do that? All right. First of all, are you teaching them new things? Are you willing to share what you know with them? Now, if you're in the floor cleaning business, you show them how to run the buffer, what kind of waxes to use, all those things. And eventually these guys go, well, I'm not going to show them everything because they could take my job. Okay. That's on the premise that they can do as well as you about talking to the customer and dealing with the employees. So that means you have to get better. You cannot be the same individual that you were. You have to be continually better. Now, in my multifaceted repair business, I'm learning things all the time, and I can share it with the guys that I'm working with. When I work with, like one I was working with today, I said, look, I could do this, but I want you to do it so it's familiar to you. When you cut that CTS pipe, copper tubing size pipe, that black polyurethane pipe, even though you took the clamps off, you're going to have to cut that pipe and then fold it off, because trying to get it off those barbs is going to be very hard to do. I want you to know how to do it. Take your razor knife, cut it, pull it over it. So I could have just done it and him watch, and he would be sort of familiar because he watched. He could look on a YouTube video. It's not the same thing. So what you're doing is teaching these people every time you get a chance. And every time you do, they become more valuable to you. Does that make sense? Teaching them why you made a decision. This is what I did. Okay, because this happened, this is the decision that I made. I want you to know that so that you don't have a question in your mind, if I'm not here, what I would think about it. So this is what you're doing. You have to continually change their lives for the better. You are there to teach them what you can to improve their life. It may be that they can't learn a lot. They're limited on how much they can suck into their skull at one time. But I was working on a guy's house, and I installed a door and fixed an outlet. The outlet, he's afraid that if I turned the breaker off, he didn't know which breaker it was, that maybe it'd turn his computer off because he's working from home on the computer. All right. He said, could you listen to this and see if I'm just crazy, but see what you think of this guy. And this guy just called this other guy that was there, every kind of name under the book. I mean, it didn't matter if he was accurate or not. These are things you don't say to people unless you're ready. If you said that on a construction site, you'd be getting your face punched. You might be able to beat them down, but they're going to get mad. And yeah, there might be a charge from the police, but I'm telling you, men do not put up with the kind of talk this guy was doing. So I asked him, is this the first time he's had this business? He said, no, this is the fourth time. 4 times. 3 times he failed because he couldn't get anybody to work for the name of his business.
Imagine that.
Right? Okay. And I said, he's a jerk. He's a total jerk. He does not know how to keep anybody or inspire anybody to be any more than what they are, and he may make them worse. He likes to threaten them, take their money, to threaten to take their money. tell him all the bad things he can say, he's going to run out of words after a while. And guess what this guy's going to do? He's probably already done it. He told me the next day he was had an interview with somebody, and if they gave him even close to the same money, he was going to take it. So he had a discussion with HR because this guy's required to have an HR department because he has bank loans and lots of people working for him, all doing the same thing. And this HR person says, well, whenever you listen to him, he'll say things. You just got to let him run and kind of pull your mind out of that. Don't listen to what he's saying.
Mm-mm.
So that's just no purpose HR person. They have no value. They're not there to create some kind of safe place. They're not. She's trying to tell the guy, try to ignore what he's saying. So in other words, take the abuse and try to act like it didn't happen. Okay. That is not how you should treat people. You should not treat people that way. If you treat somebody that way, it's a matter of time. They're going to find a job. And if they don't, those people don't have any self-respect. They're beat up. You've taken their ability to have any independent thought. You're telling them they're idiots and stupid. You're making an environment where nobody, even if you're not talking to them, you're talking to this one person. That negative talk to that person in front of everybody else makes everybody else uncomfortable. That is not what you want. You should not chew out somebody in front of everybody else, no matter what the emergency is. Save that for when you need to step out around the corner and talk to them. Okay? Do not do that publicly because you're not just demoralizing the person that you're talking to. You're demoralizing your whole crew, everybody there, no matter if he deserved it, no matter if he was really, really unintelligently doing something. You don't do that in front of people. So here's the one rule: reprove privately, praise publicly. Okay? When you got something good to say, like, hey, I'm glad you wore deodorant today, say it publicly in front of everybody. Hey, man, I'm glad you combed your hair. Looks like you took a shower. I'm trying to remember all the things. I used to run every month I used to have all the employees come in, and we'd have to do a safety meeting so it'd be a safety theme, but you also had to do this to be drug free. So everybody had to come in, and the way I got everybody to come in, I kept their checks. They didn't want to be there. They didn't want to be there, but if they weren't there, they wouldn't get their check. Okay.
In nursing.
If you want,
we were direct deposit in nursing, we didn't go to those meetings.
You wouldn't go to the meeting because you got direct deposit. So I would say no, don't send the checks out early. All of them come to me. You realize what that's going to be to hand out for 200 guys? Yes. Okay. Yes. This is what's going to happen. And did I ever chew anybody out in front of those 200 guys? No. No. I mean, if you embarrass somebody in front of 200 guys, that person's either going to quit or they're going to want to fight you right there. And none of those other guys are going to be inspired about how tough you are on that person. None of them. You are going to waste every bit of training that you put into these people because you're going to make an atmosphere where it is not peaceful. So what you are to do is to lift these people up, help them feel peace when they get here, because when they go home, they might not get it. They might be their dad saying, you're a sorry, blah, blah, blah. Their wife saying, you can't make enough money, you don't, blah, blah, blah. Their kids being smart aleck to them. So when they come to work for you, they might be able to go, at least I don't get beat up here. I can have some dignity. I can have some peace here. This guy's trying to encourage me. I'm not very good, but I want to be. And he's being patient with me. He's helping me. You have to literally invest your time in these people, because if you don't, you got no guarantees they're going to stay. You got no guarantees, period. You're just increasing your odds by making it a good place, an encouraging place. You encourage the person who encourages everybody else in front of everybody. Say, man, I appreciate what you're doing, that you're making this team that we have here feel good about each other. And I really appreciate you. He might be the sorriest talent that you have, but guess what? That good-natured guy is slapping everybody back and telling them how great they are. He's changing the atmosphere, changing everybody's happiness to being with you. This is not a love affair, but it is people helping people. You are trying to make other people's lives better. So when the stress of you as the owner, the foreman, or whatever, you can't let that bleed over into these people. They need to have a place where they can go to be encouraged so that they can go to the customer's home or to the contractor's home that they work for or their place of work and be positive themselves. I cannot stress this enough. You cannot publicly dress down somebody. You can't. You may want to. You may screw up. If you screw up, own it. Tell them where you think you screwed up and then apologize. What does an apology cost? Absolutely nothing. It costs you nothing to admit that you were wrong. There is nobody who is perfect, okay? Nobody. That doesn't cost you anything to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. This is what I should have done. And I apologize. That's like less than 10 seconds. Does anybody there think that you were perfect before you said that? No. But you just admitted that you weren't. Does that mean that you're weak because of it? No. You're stronger. Nobody's teaching that. Everybody's teaching the guy who's full of confidence is going to overpower everybody. He's going to alpha dog everybody. That is not true. The guy who is powerful will get his guys that are working with him to be more than what they are. And literally he will lift everybody else around him up, make them more. He will, I promise you. That is your leader, whether he's a helper or not. That's the guy. And that's what you've got to teach. How do you teach that? You're the guy. Well, I don't have any experience in that. I've got to kill the weak side of you. Get rid of that weak side. Get rid of it. Become stronger. Be more. Lift yourself up. Admit when you make mistakes. Commend them when they do good things. Even if it's the simplest thing that they've done over and over again. Hey, man, really appreciate you doing a good job. And say that in front of anybody. Doesn't it hurt you? Does not cost you anything. This guy here, he did a great job. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for parking that car for that person when they didn't need you, when they didn't ask you to. You went above and beyond. You made us look good, even though we didn't make more money. I appreciate what you did. So we talked about you're going to give them more skills. So like if you have a helper who wants to learn to be a journeyman level, put that helper with somebody who's willing to teach. Not everybody can teach. They should, but a lot of people are either afraid or too proud to teach. That's
I
usually
like it.
usually that's somebody that is not a good influence. At best, they're neutral. Now, if they're neutral, you may want to keep them, and so you put somebody that's a solid helper that can learn from him whether he says anything or not. If you hear that helper say, that guy treated me badly, listen to him and then go have a talk with that guy. What are you doing? Getting rid of the guy that's proud and not willing to deal with somebody lower than he is? Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're changing the atmosphere. You are making people more than what they were. That's what you're doing. You do not own any of them. You need to have them attracted to working for you, being around you. You're going to have to become a better person, despite all the pressure that's on you, the decisions you have to make, how close you are to losing everything financially. You have to get above it. Talk to them as their counselor if you need to. Just listen. It's not your job to fix everything. Ask any woman. A lot of times she just wants to let you listen to her. She's not asking you to fix it unless she asks you to fix it. Don't fix it. Listen. That's valuable. Say, if you need anything, just ask me. Well, don't just say it.
Nina.
Go do it. And if you don't know your employees, 200 of them, if you don't know them, you're at a disadvantage. It isn't all about money. There are people that will follow you into whatever fray you're going into. They need to know you're going to stand by them. If you're berating them every time they make a mistake, that ain't being loyal to them. You're not lifting them up. You're not teaching them other than don't make you mad, or that guy's a jerk if you make a mistake. Okay, they're going to make mistakes. If you need to talk to them about it, even if it costs you money, do it privately. Step aside later when not everybody's looking. Okay, do it then. Give yourself some time to calm down. Think about what you're going to say. Think about what you're trying to change instead of just berating them. Give them their dignity. Those people will be with you. And even when they have to move because of divorce, because they got a better offer, they're going to remember you. They're going to send you thank yous. I had somebody today sent me a Facebook thing saying, thank you for being a fantastic human. It was odd. And yeah, it was a something cut and paste, and it was a video. But
you didn't hit that video, did you?
Didn't hit it.
You didn't play that video.
She's trying to berate me in public now.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, you are changing people's lives. Even if they leave you, it's not the end of the world. So do you want to just go through this row of people, training them, and then making it so uncomfortable that they start looking somewhere else? And then you lose all that time you spent training them or putting them with somebody who trained them. You're going to lose all that time because you can't act right. Your job is to make them feel better about who they are. Make them look to the future for what they can be. Make them happy to be at work with you. And you recognize the good things that they do and tell them. Take some time on your part. How are you losing? What are you losing in that? Any person that's of any worth salt will lift up everybody else. They will set the example and go after it. People are not going to think that person's weak. It's just not going to happen. If they do think it, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what a good leader is. And if you have that person working for you, pay attention. Pay attention, because you can't teach honesty. You can't teach integrity. Those things you cannot train. And reaching out and helping people, you can teach that. Guess how? Set the example. If you lie and cheat those employees out of their money, what are you teaching them? You're teaching dishonesty. You can teach people to be worse than what they are. You see what I'm saying? I hope you do, because otherwise you're going to lose people. There has been times when I was not able to spend the time that I thought with somebody. And because of it, they went on their merry way, and I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do with them. And I regret that. Now, did I do something wrong to them? No. Is it possible I've done wrong to people? For sure. But it does not matter if you apologize. It's not going to hurt you. It's not. You're soothing, hopefully, the wounds that you made on them. It's going to take a while to heal. Lift them up, inspire them, teach them. And yes, it's possible they could be your competition. But I'm going to find nothing but praise for you, because you have taught so many people to be more than what they are. And there's always going to be more people that want to work in that atmosphere. I've never had a problem with getting people to work for me. Never. I've never pulled an ad. I've never had like a long stretch of time where I couldn't get somebody to work for me. I went 2 years without anybody working for me, but I literally was pushing people away. In this area, I've been around this area for 32 years. Okay. I went 2 years without anybody working, with me. I just, I didn't have a problem liking people. I just wanted to do it on my own. Wanted to see if it was more than what I thought it was. And it wasn't. For me, I was missing something when it came to interacting with people. It can be that somebody is dishonest, and it's hard to deal with those people. You just cannot put them in a position where you can't trust them. You just can't. They done proven to you, but that doesn't mean they can't work for you. It means that you cannot put them in a place where they can damage you because you put them where there was a bunch of cash laying around, or you put them in a situation where they can lie to you. It's time to start thinking about whether or not that's a bad attitude person. Well, I'm hoping that I left you with enough to think about. But here's the thing. Every time I talk to you, last time I talked to you about who you're going to hire, what did I say? Just about anybody can be who you hire. The exception would be the 350, 500-pound person might not be the guy who can climb the ladder or go underneath a house or go up in the attic. Might not be the guy that can walk up and down the hill to get materials up there to you. Okay. After that, it doesn't have anything to do with color. It doesn't have anything to do with what education they have. It has everything to do with how you present yourself. I'm going to put the responsibility on you as a leader to find the people, to be the person that people want to work for. And that's what we're dealing now. You have to create the atmosphere. You can't just pay them money. You have to create the atmosphere that people want to live there. It's a great place to live. That's what they want to do. It's what you need to be. I'm pleading with you. Invest yourself in these people. You will become bigger. You will be more if you do. Inspire these people by lifting them up with education, and inspiration is commending them when they do good things. Point to the future with you. Don't promise when something you can't do, but say, look, hey, look at all the things you're learning. Look how far you've come. I'm so proud of you. What does that cost you? You may not do it at home, but maybe you should. Be more. That's how you inspire people. You lift them up. You make them happy to work for you, or happy that they did work for you. Proud to have known you. Be that person. Be more than what you are now. Always try to improve yourself and always try to help lift them up. You become more because you're helping them become more. And then you guys, with all this positive thinking and reassurance, bleed over into your customer base where everybody is happy to see when you guys come, theoretically. There are some people that are just grouchy and they won't respond well to anything. Okay. So that's what I wanted to, that's a very brief, unrehearsed discussion about what I would do if I was wanting to inspire who? Pretty much everybody but the person with the bad attitude. I would not want to lose the training that I put into them and my investment personally in their life. I would like to be involved to make their life better. Hopefully, I left that with you. All right, guys, that's going to be all I'm going to say today. I have more to say, but it's going to start getting random if I do. So here is, please be good to yourself. Be good to the people around you. Lift up everybody and it will lift you up also. See ya.